This here's from Screen Rant. It's a little older, it's from July, but I think it's still relevant. Don't bet against Aquaman 2's box office even after the Flash movie's $200 million disaster. So, a lot of people were saying, well, look at the Flash. That did horrible, so that means probably Aquaman will too. And I said that, and a lot of people said that, and to be honest, they could be right. But Screen Rant here, who is generally on the side of Amber, they're going to defend Aquaman, and in the end, they're going to say it could maybe even make up to as much as $700 million. But let's see why. Disclaimer, I'm no big comic guy, I'm no big DC movie guy, so they might make a few points that go over my head as far as story and excitement for the DC fan base and things like that, but in general, I think my guess is as good as theirs. Those who are betting against Aquaman 2 might be surprised even after the Flash movie's significant box office bomb. Momoa will be back as Arthur Curry in this year's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which will be the final movie inherited by the DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran from the previous DC regime. Gunn and Safran are soon set to reboot the old DCEU, which Momoa's Aquaman and Ezra Miller's The Flash are a part of, in favor of their new DC Universe. Okay, so I get that much. They're gonna reboot. My guess is they want to swap some genders and races with superheroes and stuff like that. Who knows? They want a whole new universe. But I don't exactly see how that would affect Aquaman so much one way or the other for the normies out there and the casuals. But when you think about it, the hardcore fans and the people I'm talking about who know more than me and probably you about the characters and storylines and things might be thinking, well, if the whole thing's going to reset, this isn't so important. I'll watch it, but maybe not in the theaters. I'll wait for it, to come out on video or whatever. So I think this is a negative thing. They claim the second movie is going to be an event. I guess thinking like what Star Wars used to be to some people, they'd camp out to get tickets, it would be a big deal. Maybe they think something like that's going to happen. They say since it is the final one of this universe, that might be a big thing to some people. I guess the novelty of it, the history behind it or something like that. Although it's a weak history because they just change like the wind anyway, who cares? But alright, maybe. They go on to say even if that doesn't help, some other things will. They say Aquaman and Momoa are a lot more popular than Ezra Miller and The Flash, which is true, okay. They say it was The Flash's first solo movie, so it's sometimes hard to gain interest on the first one. It was like an icebreaker movie, okay. They mention that Aquaman is already established, fine. They say The Flash suffered from multiple delays, which Aquaman did as well, so okay, that's even. They say there are two different Flashes, one is more popular, and they compete with each other, and Aquaman doesn't have to deal with that. I got no idea, fine. They mentioned Shazam bombed. The first one looked great. The second one looked like they had a lot of weird characters in there that shouldn't have been there, so that's no surprise. They say something I don't quite understand about since The Flash bombed, that means Aquaman 2 might not bomb, and there is some kind of a natural pattern. You even see it with YouTube where, if you put enough out there, it's not all gonna fail. So probability-wise, if this one didn't hit and that one didn't hit, well, one will hit. I mean, I get that, but there's really no solid ground for that. They say that during the pandemic, during the big beer bug we all know about, movies had a harder time, and even after for some time, people didn't like going to theaters, but now that's kind of cleared away, and more people will be willing to go to theaters. A fair point. Maybe it'll get a little boost because of that, but that's something that's not unique to Aquaman. And Flash was recent enough where that wasn't a factor either. They then say the release date is in a better spot than Flash, which is true also. Fine. They're comparing it to Flash, but what's actually going to make it good and make people want to see it? I know something that's going to make people not see it. It features a flappy fish market under the water, which is tough because fish markets are usually above the water. And here's where they weigh in on their actual money prediction. While Aquaman made over $1 billion over its run, it is unrealistic to expect its sequel to reach similar heights due to the box office shifts and the impact of Gunn announcing his DC Universe reboot could further diminish audience interest in the final DCEU release. Still, the film should make more than The Flash. According to Box Office Mojo, at the all-time of the digital release of The Flash, the movie has amassed $267 million worldwide. If Momoa's sequel manages to make even half of the original's total in China, which neared the 300 million mark, then a $500 to $700 million mark for Aquaman 2 might be within reach. I said a while ago, before any of these big bombs happened in 2023, about 500 million. I thought about half at least. But seeing the trailer interest, which didn't do so well, last I checked 11 million views on their official YouTube channel, which isn't great. Many of them go into 20, 30, 40, 50, even 100 million views sometimes. I think the tide may be turning. But I wouldn't be surprised if it made about half of what the first one made. I guess my opinion is watered down, but we shall see. I hear over and over people are confident it's just going to bomb, just going to tank. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.